Hey, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another session of The Sanctuary, your space for reflection, growth, and connection. I'm your girl and guide, Mariah Miles, licensed therapist, ordained minister, and overall creative. Last week, we explored the power of forgiving others through a lot of radical forgiveness, the kind that challenges us to truly release resentment, to forgive with grace, and to open our hearts fully. We talked a lot about how forgiving others isn't about forgetting or excusing. It's about reclaiming our peace and stepping into a higher truth. And if you're anything like me, you might have left that episode feeling inspired, but also aware of the deep work it takes to truly let go. And I couldn't stop thinking about, what does that mean? Why do we hold on so tightly? And today we're going even further. We're unpacking why we hold on so tightly. Physiologically, neurologically, spiritually, all the leads, and how understanding these reasons can help us finally loosen those grips so forgiveness can flow. Are you with me? Well, I'm super excited. Sit back, relax. It's time to tune in. So let's sit with this question for a moment. Why do we hold on so desperately to pain, resentment, or just the stories that keep us tethered to the past? And feel free to hit that pause button and do some reflection in your journal. But honestly, it's something I've pondered a lot myself, and I think at the core, it's about safety. And I'm not talking about the kind of safety that keeps us alive, but the kind that keeps us feeling in control. Feel me? Because let's face it, life is super unpredictable. It's constantly throwing us these curveballs, these surprises, these heartbreaks, these losses, and they shake us so desperately to our core. And holding on to pain feels almost like a survival tactic, maybe this unconscious way of saying, if I keep this hurt close, I won't be caught off guard again. It's a familiar feeling, right? It's this armor that we wear. Even if it's heavy, even if it's uncomfortable, it becomes part of us. And sometimes we cling to that pain because it's become part of our identity. We tell ourselves stories, I've been betrayed, or I've been wronged, and those stories give us a sense of meaning, right? They give us a reason to keep the pain alive. They justify staying in that victim space. And let's be real, we got a lot of victim consciousness happening. But beneath all of that, there's an even deeper reason that we hold on so tightly. Fear. Fear of vulnerability. Fear of opening our hearts again. Fear of losing what little sense of control we think we have. Because letting go means surrendering that control. Trusting that life is bigger than our pain, bigger than our stories. It means trusting that healing is even possible, even after we've been hurt so deeply. And truthfully, letting go is scary. It is super uncomfortable. It's messy, and we have no idea what it's going to look like. But it's also necessary. Because holding on, really holding on, it keeps us stuck. It prevents us from experiencing the full richness of life, living fully, and keeping us from embodying the love, freedom that are that are our divine birthright. So often we hold on because of this mixture of protection, of identity, of fear. And recognizing those reasons is really the first step towards kind of gently loosening our grip and opening ourselves to the possibility that, hey, just maybe we can be free. Maybe true liberation is a possibility. So what's happening inside our brains, though? Because understanding this can help us maybe be gentle with ourselves in the process of letting go, and maybe gentle with others too. Our brains, they're designed for survival, okay? So it is no surprise that they often prefer to hold on to pain, to trauma. And the key player here in our brain is the amygdala, right? It's this almond-shaped part of our brain that acts as our emotional alarm system. And when we experience hurt, betrayal, injustice, that amygdala, it kicks into high gear. It is like a guard dog. It's barking loudly every time it perceives a threat. It is a vicious little Rottweiler. And this alarm system is so sensitive that it can get activated even by thoughts or memories of past wounds. And the more we think about those hurts, the more the amygdala, it fires, right? It's creating this kind of emotional echo chamber, right? And it's reinforcing our feelings of pain and defensiveness and whatever else is going on in there. And because our brains love habits, yes, even emotional habits, they create these neural pathways around these painful memories. I want you to think of it like walking down a really well-worn trail in a forest, right? Do you like that? It creates such an image. And to me, it feels, so peaceful. But nah, not to your brain. The more you walk it, the clearer and easier this trail becomes. And over time, that neural trail becomes this default route your brain takes every single time you revisit that pain. Are you with me? Yeah. So here's the tricky part. When we're in the state of pain or anger, our brain is releasing stress hormones, right? You got the cortisol, the adrenaline, and these chemicals flood our system. And it almost creates this kind of emotional high. And it can be oddly addictive. It's like our brain is saying, stay here. This feels so good. Stay here. This feels familiar. Oh, I know what to do with this. Right? That's how good it feels to your brain. This chemical cocktail that makes us crave the adrenaline rush, the dopamine hit, even though it's harmful in the long run. So holding on to resentment or anger becomes a kind of neurochemical loop, one that's really difficult to break free from, not impossible, but even when we consciously want to let it go, it can be hard. And that's why sometimes, despite our best intentions, we find ourselves ruminating. We're replaying old stories. We're feeling stuck in a loop because that neural wiring and the chemistry are working in tandem to really keep us exactly where we are. Safe, familiar. But let's be really real here, also trapped. Boom. There it is. So understanding this, I think that it can help us approach the process of releasing with more compassion, just kind of knowing that it's not just about willpower, it's about rewiring, rebalancing, gently shifting those neural pathways over time. I know I already spoke about the spiritual truth, probably last session and the session before that, and the session before that. I get it. But I want to do it again because letting go is so sacred. I want to turn inward and upward and just revisit this spiritual perspective, because holding on to pain or resentment or whatever you're experiencing is more than just this mental or emotional challenge. It is a sacred opportunity for growth. At least that's my belief. Many spiritual traditions teach us that forgiveness isn't just a moral act or this kind gesture, but how it's an essential part of our soul's evolution. It's about aligning ourselves with, love and compassion and maybe a little bit of divine grace. But when we cling to those grudges and those past hurts, we're essentially anchoring ourselves to that heaviness, to those heavy burdens that weigh us down, weigh our spirits down, and block that highest potential. And here's a beautiful way I think that we can embody this truth. So let's pause for a moment to tune in to our gentle somatic practice this week. Something that can help us physically release tension and reconnect with our body's wisdom. I invite you to find a comfortable seat. Allow your feet to be flat on the ground or the earth beneath you. Allow your spine to be long. And gently close your eyes if that feels right, or perhaps soften your gaze. I invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, gently lift your shoulders towards your ears. And pause at the top and slowly roll your shoulders back and down, feeling any tension melt away. Inhale, lift your shoulders up towards your ears, and on the exhale, roll them back and down. Feel the tension dissipate in your body, maybe becoming more grounded, more present, or whatever else you notice. Inhaling, lift your shoulders up towards your ears, and on the exhale, roll them back and down. And if it feels right and you want to join us in switching directions, inhale your shoulders up and exhale, roll them forward and down. Continuing at your own pace, inhale up, exhale forward and down. Maybe another round just like that. Inhaling, your shoulders reach up towards your ears, and on the exhale around, allow them to drop forward and down. And when you're ready, allowing your shoulders to settle, find the stillness, find their neutral position. And I invite you to take a moment just to notice how your body feels now. And something about this simple movement, this sacred act of release. It's just a gentle reminder that surrendering is part of this divine journey. And as you gently move, feel your body telling you that letting go is a natural, necessary part of that healing too. invite you to think of forgiveness as a sacred releasing, right? Like, what if it was a ritual of surrendering that invited us to continue to shed layers, or if you could think of it as physical layers. Maybe it's like you've been carrying this heavy blanket, or you have tons of sweatshirts layered upon them, right, upon you. And it's just really weighing us down. And all of those layers are just kind of full of judgment and fear. So in a way, it's like a radical act of self-love. Like, I'm going to take off every single layer that doesn't serve me anymore, because I'm making this conscious choice to free myself from all of this, maybe like those chains of pain, right? So I can just let my true self out, my true light, let it shine. And in many spiritual teachings, forgiving others is seen as a reflection of divine mercy. This mirror that shows us our own capacity for compassion. And when we think of capacity, right, that means that we have the opportunity to grow how much we can hold from each experience. And when we forgive, we're not just excusing or condoning harmful actions. It's not the goal here. We are acknowledging the wounds, yeah, but we're also choosing to say that I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be stuck here. I don't want to give you the power over me anymore. We're saying, I see you, I honor your pain, but do not let this pain define me. I don't want to be defined by this anymore. You know, forgiveness is a gift. And it's a gift that we give ourselves. It's an act of radical trust, because trust that we have to trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should. That wounds are part of our human journey, and that healing is always available. And when we embrace this divine act of release, I think we're stepping into this higher vibration. The energy in the world around us is going to interact with us differently, because I've taken off one of my sweatshirts, one of my heavy blankets. Now they can see me a little bit more, right? My light is brighter. It creates this space where love and compassion and grace become like our guides. We remember that our essence is love itself, and forgiveness is this bridge back to that truth. So in this experience, in this sacred journey, holding on to pain becomes an act of spiritual resistance, is kind of what I'm getting. Letting go, on the other hand, becomes this act of surrender, trusting in the divine timing, trusting in the process, trusting in our own innate capacity to heal and transform. And I know it's hard to trust, because if we haven't done it before, if we haven't experienced it, we do not have a visual. We don't know what we're working toward. In essence, when we choose to forgive, we're aligning ourselves with the divine flow of life, right? We're allowing love to heal what's broken and opening our hearts to the limitless possibilities of renewal. But we have to stay open. And when we don't let go, then, we're closed off, and that's the energy that's happening. Recently, I learned that my grandmother is having a shift in her health, and that I'll have to be traveling soon to support her and help her through this transition. And it's a reminder to me, again, that life is so very fragile and unpredictable. No matter how much we try to hold on or control, life cycles of change, of loss, of letting go are always teaching us about our humanness. I think it's been a moment of deep reflection, learning to surrender, learning to trust, learning to be present with what is. And I realize that this process of letting go isn't just theoretical. I think that it's deeply embodied, deeply felt. Or at least that's how I experience it. So I want to invite you now to a visualization, right? I'm inviting you to use your imaginations again. We are all creators, so we have the imagination. So something that can help you physically release, that's the goal, whatever you're holding on to, just as I'm learning to do it in my own way. So I'm going to invite you to pause, like really physically pause here together. Because real change happens in the stillness. And so hopefully you're already in a comfortable seat, but if not, I invite that for you. And if it feels right, close your eyes or soften your gaze and drop into your breath. Take a deep cleansing inhale and an exhale too. And maybe do another round, big inhale. And as you exhale this time, I want you to imagine that you are softly exhaling your breath into a balloon. Big and round and full, whatever color you need that balloon to be. But I want you to fill that balloon with everything that you need to release: fears, anger, resentment, tension, whatever is there. But also you can let it be filled with your hopes, maybe peace, your longing for freedom, whatever your heart desires. Now, using that imagination, I invite you to picture yourself kind of gripping this balloon tightly, and maybe you are even physically clenching your fists, not wanting to let go. You don't want that balloon to fly away. And maybe you even tie it with a string because you're so afraid of losing it, right? You really want to hold on to it. And then I invite you to remember the truth. You're like, the truth? Yeah, you're gripping so tightly, and I want you to slowly feel your hands start to loosen. And gently, ever so softly, let the grip go. And with a deep inhale and a trusting breath, imagine yourself just kind of let go of that string and just release that balloon. And let it kind of drift upward into the sky. It's being carried away by the wind and carrying all that you placed inside. And I want you just to watch it float. Yeah. Further and further. Until it becomes just a tiny little speck. And just notice whatever comes up. And remember that by releasing what no longer serves us, we open ourselves to new possibilities and growth and love. And just as a reminder, I want you to remember that letting go isn't a one-time event. It is definitely a gentle practice. It is a daily gift that we are giving ourselves, right? Each time that we choose to loosen our grip, even just a little, we're creating space for love, right? If we're not choosing love, we're choosing fear. And it allows us to awaken to the truth of who we really are. So be kind to yourself this week. Trust the process, trust your heart, and know that in the sacred cycle of life, every ending is also a new beginning. Thank you for being here today and sharing this space with me. Until next time, maybe you find the strength to forgive and the clarity to move forward on this path of yours. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss a session here at the Sanctuary. And perhaps you share this with a friend because you never know who might need to hear this. And guess what? I have created an IG account just for this. Or what do you call it? Like a handle? Whatever you want to call it. You can get at me at The Sanctuary with Mariah Miles. It's a mouthful, but it's easy because it's the name of the podcast. And if you want to find out more about my services or want to drop me a line, head over to my website, mariahmilestherapy.com. There's a link for the podcast, so go check that out. The divine in me recognizes the divine in you. Love and light. Peace, y'all. While this podcast may feel like a therapeutic conversation, it is important to note that it is not a substitute for professional therapy or mental health. The information shared here is intended solely for educational purposes and should not be used as a replacement for personalized mental health care. Although I am a therapist, I'm not acting as your therapist in this setting. If you are in need of support, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional.